Hi everybody, welcome to Ask Jenny K. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to start off this episode, which I'm going to be talking about pins. I'm going to be talking about types of pins, their uses, give you my reviews and perspectives on them, and let you know my go-to choices. So we're going to talk about all those pins, but I thought I'd start today. I finally got a chance. It's amazing for a professional quilter. I don't get a lot of chance to quilt, but I finally got a chance today. I want you to check out my design wall. Okay, make sure you can get it all in the view there. Yeah! Isn't this lovely? I had a friend, hi Jackie, cut out all these pieces for me, and I finally got a chance to put them all together. But I love it. I love the layout of it. And this is my design wall. Very, very fancy. Do you know what it is? I thumbtacked a piece of batting to the wall. That's it. That's all I did. It works beautifully for a design wall. And then if I want to use it in a quilt later, because like it's got too much fuzz on it or something, I can take it down and do it. Yay. All right. So, yeah, and so one of my friends suggested, well, what if you switch it around, like if you see if you like the lighter colors or the darker colors better. And I thought, I'll do that. I will take a picture. I'm setting you down here because we're going to cover some things. We're going to talk about pins, and I want you to see everything. Okay, so my friend suggested that taking a picture with my camera, with my cell phone, and then rotating it. So that's what I did. I'll post one of those later because I think I like one of the rotated versions a little better than I do this one. All right, so I have exciting news. I am on YouTube. I got my channel all set up. Very, very cool. And these will be posted on there. All of them are on there, as a matter of fact, so you can go on there and catch up on anything that that I've already done on Ask Jenny K, and I'll have other things there. And do you know if you search Jenny K Quilts or Jenny K Parks on YouTube, you're going to come up with other videos too? Yeah, cool. Check them out. Leave questions, leave reviews. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Yeah, so the one on the design wall, that's an upcoming pattern. And I want to recommend to you guys to go to my website, jennykquilts.com, and sign up for my newsletter because I will give you exclusive preview information of patterns that I have coming up and sales and places I'm going to be teaching and all that stuff. You will be the first to know. So be sure to sign up for that. All right, now on to pins. We're going to talk about types, and as I go through each one, I'm going to talk about its uses, what you can do with it, what I think of it, and then we'll finally get to the ones that I love. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you several here. This pin is it's a corsage pin. I used to do floral design, and I happen to have a big box of them. This is something that I use if I have to pin through several layers of things because it's a strong, sturdy pin. It's not going to be messed around or bent. I think one of these yellow fellas, oh, look at this. Isn't this pinkish and adorable? A friend of mine sent it to me when I was sick. Thanks, Adele. It's so cute. Okay, but I'm sure all of us have a package of these. It's the yellow head, right? But you notice, usually the cheap ones, they kind of bend. In fact, they bend a lot. I'm not fond of the bending ones. I will keep them. I mean, if they're, not too bent. No reason to really keep a bent pin, is there? I'll keep them if I have to pin through several layers, again, layers of stuff, and I just want to keep, okay, this is all of column A. I want to keep those all together, then I will use these pins, but they're not good for much else, my friends. In class, I will often tell, I'll say, okay, so pin this part together as we're going to sew it over together. We need to have those seams match and whatever. And their pinning is, I still can't get it to match, Jenny. And I'll say, why don't you try one, and I'll try with one of their pins, right? It's like shoving a table leg through there. You need nice, sharp pins to make it work. So that's my recommendation. These yellow head pins are not very sharp. Another downfall that they have in some cases is it has a plastic head. This yellow plastic head, while it might be easy to see, it is also very easy to melt with the iron. So again, that's kind of, it's a downside for me. But if you're sticking stacks of stuff together, it's perfect. All right, so then let's see some of the other ones that I have here. Let's see. I have just like the miscellaneous ones. You just buy a whole big set of them. In fact, I have a whole big pile of stuff that I bought at, you believe it or not, Sew Fro Fabrics. It's been a long time since we had Sofro fabrics around. But I just bought, like, you know, like a pack of 200 for 50 cents at Sofro. And I just use those. Those are my junk pins. I don't care what happens to them. No, I don't want them back. No, I don't need to keep them. I don't care. They go. Bye-bye. Off they go. All right. So those are some of the pins. Also, I got T-pins here. T-pins can have an interesting use. Well, for one, at the quilt shop that I worked at, they use this to secure, they'd fold the fabric on the bolts over to the front and then they'd secure it with a pin. So that worked really well for that purpose. And I ended up coming home with some or bought some or something. But this works really well if you need to baste your quilt, and you can use these T-pins to stick your quilt, stick the backing into the carpet. Oh, now my husband knows I just stuck a bunch of T-pins in the carpet. Sorry, honey. But they all came out. So you have to count them and keep track. All right, so those are little miscellanies. Here is one set that I'm pretty sure all of you have or have seen, and that's these flathead pins, and they're really good. Folks say they're really good for applique. I'm going to show you two brands here. This is the Fons and Porter brand, and this is a Clover. And see, it has this I think it's Japanese writing on it, right? And so I thought, oh, fancy. It's all foreign. That's not a fan of using one of these. The benefit of the flathead is that if you're appliquing stuff, you can kind of just slide it right under there, and the flathead will not disturb anything. Again, a disadvantage is, one, these points, I'm sorry, these are not very sharp. These are not as sharp as I want them to be. If you have to push, then you're going to distort the fabric, and no, that's not what I want. The other downfall is that they're metal heads. Now, while these are strong shanks, it can be a really, I mean, not metal heads, they're plastic heads. And again, that can melt if you accidentally press over them. Just a thought. These are not really sharp ones, these Clover ones, but they are really strong. The Fons and Porter ones are sharper, but they're not as strong. Just something to consider. Some things to think about. Okay. So that's those guys. Then somebody suggested, oh, you need to get silk head pins. Silk pins is that's what you need. So I bought the best ones that they recommended. Very tiny, fine, super sharp silk pins. Great. They're absolutely right. They are sharp. They are strong. They have this jaggedy, I don't like it. It hurts my fingers. They have this pointy metal end here that I find it bothers my fingers. It's too tight. Sometimes it's hard to get in there and pull it out if my fingernails aren't really long at the time. So they will work. They will work for applique. They'll work for lots of different purposes, but I don't care for the head on them. That's my preference. And somebody said, oh, you need to get some really tiny applique pins if you're going to do Hawaiian applique. So I got these little fellas. And while they're very tiny, see, they're quite short. Quite short. They're very tiny, and I do like that. I do appreciate that, because in the applique, if you're just working with little tiny pieces, you don't want to have to hassle with too much. That's great for that, but they aren't very sharp. So it's kind of like a trade-off. Okay, I made them shorter, but they're not as sharp. It is a little bit like pushing a table leg. They need to be real fine like this and short. That would be perfect. Oh, I wonder if they're out there. All right, let me show you. Oh, let me go to safety pins here too. I have a few different safety pins. Okay, these safety pins, you can kind of see them. I have these all set up for basting. So what I can do is I can push it into my fabric and pull it up, and then it doesn't hurt to push that back down. It's very gentle on my delicate fingers. It's nice. All right, but so that's why these are set up and clipped in there. This one has a little bend in it, and that helps to curve to bring that back up to the top. Curve and bring it up. So that's helpful when you're basting, but it's not absolutely necessary. Not absolutely necessary. So these are both, these curved ones, they're quite strong. I appreciate that. These are good. I'd recommend you get them rust-free if possible, but these curved ones, this particular brand, and I'm not sure which brand it was, sorry. But they're strong, they have a good curve. I really like those. I appreciate those. I got these golden ones, and it's just a generic, I think you can see them probably on the shelf, brass numbers, and I don't like them at all. They are flimsy. In fact, I can probably just bend it right in here with my own little fingers. It doesn't take much to bend it and completely out of shape. I mean, look at this. And I'm going to push it through 3 layers of stuff. Not very well. I don't think so. So, I don't, no shilly-shally here. I'm not going to mess around with that one. All right. So, let me show you my favorite. These are my go-to pins. And I'll tell you why. These are Dritz. They are fine glass head pins. Okay, so these are super fine. These are as fine as my silk pins. They are sharp. They are super sharp like the silk pins, but they have a glass head. So one, it doesn't hurt my fingers. I don't need special fingernails to pull them out with. And if I happen to iron over them, it's all right. To me, these Dritz silk super fine, let's see, it says extra fine glass head pins by Dritz. These are the perfect ones for me. These are what I go to. The glass heads, they work great. I can stitch over them. Oh, they're not supposed to. I can stitch over them accidentally, and still it'll probably be okay. So that's my review of pins. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Please let me know if you have any questions. I hope to see you soon on YouTube. You can subscribe there, and you can see everything that I'm doing. Next time, I'm going to continue my little tour of tools, and we're going to talk about scissors. I'm going to talk about all the different scissors I have, and I'm going to pull some out of my grandmother's sewing basket to show you. So, thanks you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.